Welcome to your mat. Welcome to your body. Start to feel the soles of your feet. Take a moment. Let's just take a big breath in. Sweep those arms out and up. You're welcoming the morning. You're welcoming yourself to your body. You're welcoming your breath into your body. Exhale it out. Do that again. A collective breath in. Sweeping those arms out and up. And exhale. Breathing, exhaling it out. Let's go ahead and place our hands on top of our thighs. And we're just going to come into a bit of a forward fold. You can go as deep as you want. Maybe you're just resting your forearms on top of your thighs. And if it feels comfortable for you to go in deeper, maybe you place a block down on the earth. Place your hands on the block, or maybe you're ready to take those hands down to the floor. So there's no how deep you go. It's about feeling it out, where you want to be for a few extra breaths here. Move back into that deep breath pattern. Finding the inhales through the nose. Right down into the belly. A little harder to breathe this way with this forward fold, but definitely finding those big breaths. And long exhales out. Maybe take a moment just to release the neck, the head, shaking it out a little bit. And then let's take those hands to the tops of the shins, look forward, and really feel that spine here. Extend it long, sit bones to the crown of the head. And then exhale, fold it back in. Let's do that again. Inhale, sort of that half lift, sliding the hands up just underneath the kneecaps. Find that long spine. Big breath and exhale, fold it in. This time, inhale, slide the hands all the way up to the tops of your thighs. Heel toe those feet a little wider apart. And on your next exhale, go ahead and pull that belly button up, round the spine, tuck the chin. Just taking things nice and slow, feeling the body here, feeling your spine. And on your next inhale, let's lift those sit bones, lift those shoulders, lift that chin, arch the spine, belly button down, feeling that extension through the spine. And now back and forth. Exhale, rounding. Inhale and arching. Take your time here. Maybe the movement progressively grows a little deeper as your spine gets used to this movement. A nice bracing of the arms, the hands into the legs here to support your body, this movement. And then let's go ahead and hold that arching spine, the chin up, sit bones up. Take an extra breath here. Exhale it out. Inhale again. And on your next exhale, let's round that spine and let's hold that for an extra breath. Tucking the chin in, tucking the tailbone, maybe sliding the shoulders down here so that you have more rounding through the upper back as well. And that breath and pushing into that rounding spine. And then from here, press down into the floor, strong legs, roll it up into standing. Take your time again. Feel the strong legs pressing down as you go. As you get to the top, go ahead, roll those shoulders open. And let's take those feet and bring them back together. Heel toe back together, hip width apart. Pull that chin back. And just feel that body, the feet plugging into the earth, and that lift all the way through the torso to the top of the head, finding your height here in this pose. And taking time to find your breath as well. So maybe Ujjayi breath, that little sound, inhaling through the nose right down to the belly, expanding into that rib cage, and emptying out. Let's stay with that big, rich breath and inhale, sweep those arms out and up. Let's start with that traditional sun salutation. Gaze up, look up, reach up, and on your exhale, hinge at the hips, soften the knees, sweep those arms on down, find that forward fold once again. Inhale, half lift, slide those hands up. Gaze forward, spine long. Exhale, hands down, step those feet back, find your plank pose. So plank pose, knees up or knees down. Staying here for a moment, we have that chubby double chin, right? Chin pulls back into the throat. Everything engaged. Find a big breath. And on your exhale, take your time. Let's lower it down nice and slow with strength coming down to the earth. Point those toes down to the bottom of the mat, hands under the shoulders, pull that tailbone down. Inhale, let's lift that head, that heart, that chest, little mini cobra to start, just to where it feels good. Exhale, lower it back down, tuck your toes, and make your way back into that downward dog. So maybe you go with the knees down, then lifting them up, right into down dog, whatever feels right for you. And taking a moment here, lugging the fingers in, lifting the base of the palm, spreading out through the shoulders. So it's like you're trying to pull your armpits to the outsides, to the edges of your mat. Finding your breath. And then if you want, finding some movement in this down dog. So maybe bending the knees. I like to do a little shake here. Maybe a little movement of the head. Just getting that energy moving in the body. Maybe in a slightly different way than what you're used to. And then let's come back to stillness. Big breath here. And on your exhale, gaze forward, and let's take that walk back up top of the mat. Take your time. Land those feet hip width. Toes pointing directly forward. Inhale, half lift again. And exhale, fold it in. So this time, brace your core body, tubular core, and sweep those arms out and up. Let's go ahead and keep those hands on up there, and let's move into more functional movement in this next sun salutation. So taking those hips and shifting them side to side, right? Organizing that body, hips down, let it do its thing, hips up, let it do its thing. And then also adding on ankles if you want. So I'm just rolling to the edges of my feet here. Getting more ankle work, more footwork in here. And then come back to center and let's go hips back, upper torso forward, and then hips forward and arms more back. So it's not a back bend, you're bracing your core, it's more reaching the arms back and then back and forth. So how fast you do this or how slow is up to you. Some days I'm feeling a little slower, some days I'm ready to go a little faster. Add on the heel toe lifts if you want. And then maybe let's hold heels up. And then maybe let's hold toes up, maybe 1 foot up at a time, a little harder. And then go ahead, root down and sweep those arms forward, and let's take that twist. So arms shoulder height, maybe bending one knee as you go. And then go ahead, shake those arms out, bring them down by the waist and swing them. And then reach those arms up to the sky. Notice there's a little variation in the movement of the spine depending on where we place the arms. And then let's bring them back to shoulder height and add a little footwork. So right foot steps forward, points directly to the left, and then opposite, back and forth. And then let's take right foot stepping behind, swinging the arms to the left. And other side, left foot steps behind, arm swing to the right. Definitely feels a little different. And remember to breathe through all these movements, even though they are faster movements in general. And then let's take cross body. So left foot steps behind and arms swing down low to the right, and then reach up and across to the left. And staying on that side back and forth. As high or as low as you want to go. Maybe you are feeling like you can get really low. Or maybe it's just by the waist. And let's take that other side. So arms, right foot steps behind, arms swing to the left, and reach up to the right, and back and forth. And then let's go ahead and come back to center. Go ahead, cross those arms at the wrists and plant those forearms on top of the thighs. Really brace that core strongly so that you can lift and lower those hips here. Isolating to the hamstrings, really warming those hamstrings up and adding if you want more shoulder mobility. So as hips go down, arms reach forward, and then arms, as the hips go up, arms reach down, back and up. So kind of find your range of motion in your shoulders and work that in if you want. Let's go ahead and hold one of those, maybe arms up into that forward fold. Take an extra breath here. And then hold the other one. Hips down, arms reaching forward. Find as much length from the fingertips to the sit bones as you can. And let's take that forward fold here. Heel toe those feet a little wider apart. I do like a block to bring the floor up to me a little bit on this one, because we're going to move those hips side to side, keeping them on the same plane. Let the head and the neck be free here as you shift right to left. And feeling the transfer of weight in the feet, right to left. Come back to center, heel toe the feet back to hip width, and this time let's take that twist in this forward fold. So reaching the arms to the outside of the right foot, and then half circle to the other side, and back and forth. And then back to center, hands down, bend into those knees. Let's step it back into that plank pose. So strong plank here. Have that inner belly lift. And let's check that inner belly lift. So from here, we're going to go down to forearms, elbows generally underneath the shoulders. but maybe they're a little forward, and that's okay. And then let's go ahead and bring the knees down, keep the toes tucked here. And then holding that tailbone, pulling it down towards the floor, squeezing the butt cheeks, we're going to slowly lower the hips down as well. Now you might need to adjust where your elbows are. I'm going to adjust mine forward a little bit. I'm still protecting the lower back here. But we're going to check that you're using that really strong inner belly to come up into those planks. So resisting the urge to push down with those forearms, think more belly and lift the hips off the mat using that deep core body, using that lift of the inner belly. So feel that. Now lift the knees off as well. Hold that a moment. So I'm already telling that there's a stronger lift here than my normal plank, that inner belly lift. That's what I'm talking about. And then go ahead, let's bring the knees back down and gently place the hips back down. Make sure you're breathing through this. Let's do that again. Use that deep core body, really lift the hips off the mat. And then the knees. And then we can stay here using that inner belly lift, right? Find your breath and we're going to move it. Move those hips. So slide those hips side to side. Come back to center. And how about we really find that deep lift and lift the hips a little bit more. So the hips come up and then bring the hips back down and shift the shoulders forward a bit. Go back and forth with that. This is a different, when I'm really focusing on this inner belly lift, this is really hard work. Come back to center and let's lower it down. Come all the way down. Slide the hands forward, palm on palm. Rest your forehead down on top of your hands. And just take a moment and find that breath. Soften the belly here. Breathe into your back body. Maybe take a big inhale and an open mouth exhale, just even a sigh out of that mouth, letting go. And then from here, slide the hands back underneath the shoulders, fingertips in line with the tops of the shoulders. Rest your forehead, top of the nose on the earth. And really find your legs here, engaging into the legs, pointing your toes down to the bottom of the mat. Notice the kneecaps lift. Notice the butt cheeks squeeze. Keep that lower body strength. And on your inhale, lift the head, the shoulders, the heart. And the exhale lowers it back down. Back and forth with this one. Inhale, lifting upper body. Exhale, lowering. So we're really finding our back muscles here, making sure that the back muscles are doing the work of this lift. The palms are super light on the earth. And those back muscles are heating up, right? And then perhaps on this last one, you keep that lift. Go back to noticing your legs, toes pointing, kneecaps lifting, butt cheeks squeeze. Maybe lift the hands off the earth. And on your exhale, go ahead, lower it down. Sweep those arms or push those arms down to the bottom of your mat alongside your torso. Rest your head to one side. And then once again, let go. Soften, release. Notice any tension you're holding in your body. Let that exhale breath just help to sweep it away. Focus a little bit more on the back breath, like you're breathing more into the backs of your lungs. And then go ahead and turn your head the opposite way. Go ahead, turn your head once again facing downward, top of the forehead, top of the nose, slide the hands up under the shoulders. And let's take that cobra, same deal, pointing those toes down, kneecaps lift, inhale, heart lifts, this time hands engaged into the earth, pressing down and pulling back. And exhale, lower it down, tuck your toes, listen up, we're gonna press it up. Using that inner belly lift, I want to go really slow in this press up. So I'm tucking my toes under, engaging into the butt cheeks, squeezing, and thinking about that inner belly lift as I press now into my hands to come on up. I'm keeping my knees down. So it's a push up with the knees down. And now lift the knees off. Keep that inner belly lift there. Strong plank pose. And from here, let's take that right knee, pull it in, shift it over to the left so that right hip drops. Place it back and other side. Left knee in, over to the right, left hip drops, back and forth. Come back to center and press those hips up, downward facing dog. Lugging into the fingertips, broadening out through the shoulders, lifting those sit bones, and breathing your down dog. Big breath here. And on your exhale, let's walk it up, take it up top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Inhale, let's rise up. Sweep those arms out and up. Plant your palms together at the top. Really press into those palms and pull it down to your heart center. Just take a moment here. Feel the heat in the body. Find your breath. Take those palms pressing in and just elbows pulling out. Just bring the fingertips away from you for a moment, just to where your range of motion stops those hands, and then bring the fingertips in. Go back and forth with that just a couple of times. And then come back up to the top, pull the elbows apart till just the middle fingers are touching, palms facing down. And then go ahead, keep pointing them down, bring the backs of the hands together. So we feel that flexion in the wrist now. And then go ahead and bring the fingertips out away from you and bring them in. And go back and forth with that a couple times. And then go ahead and release it and just let those wrists move, circle them around. And then sweep those arms out and up. Exhale, let's bend into the knees, drop the bottom, and swing those hips. So hip drivers side to side in this chair pose. You can always have the hands in a different position. Maybe they're on top of your thighs. Maybe they're still in namaste. And then let's come back to center and shift the hips forward and back. Knees go forward and back as well as you go. Again, whatever arm position you want to play with. And then let's come back to center. And how about we press one knee forward, one knee back. Feel the hips move as well when you do that. And then opposite. One knee forward, one knee back, and back and forth. Now you can add arms if you want. So as that left knee slides forward, left hand goes forward, twist added to the spine. Back and forth. Yeah, you could swing the arms as well. Make sure you're getting that shift of the knees as you do that. Let's come back to center. I'm ready. Forward fold. Take your time. Hang out here for an extra breath. Just letting that head hang free. And then let's do that half lift. Slide the hands up the shins. Find the length as you look forward, that length through your spine, through your torso, through your side body. And exhale, fold it in. Take that left foot, step it back. Stay on those left toes, left heel lifted. Right knee joint stacked on top of right ankle. Stay here a moment. So those feet are hip width or wider. You really want stability in the lower legs. So before you rise, engage into those legs. Feel them strong, pressing downward. And then gently that torso comes up. So if you want, you can take the hands directly up, or you can, really get your stability, hands remaining down for a moment. And then when you're ready, maybe those arms reach on up. Find your breath here. And we're just going to lower that left knee down a little bit and bring it back up. So down and up. Feel that front left hip flexor. Take a moment, maybe there's a few pulses in there, pulsing that back knee. And then maybe we just hold it hovering a few inches off the mat for a moment. And then from here, let's lean that torso forward, straighten that back leg. And we're going to take that back foot and we're going to really shift the weight into the front right leg and tap that back foot forward. And then step it back. Now it doesn't have to be as long of a stance. We're going to add arms onto this. Arms reach up. And as we lean forward into that front right leg and tap up, we're going to pull the arms back, elbows back, maybe fists. Inhale, reach it up, left foot steps. Exhale, stepping up and back and forth. So it's moving a little faster. Keep your breath flowing here. And then if you want, we can add on, you can stay with the tap or you can bring that foot up. And if you want, add a squeezing of the abs here. Inhale, reach it. Exhale, squeeze it. And how about we hold the squeeze, the tap up, maybe the lift up, hold, squeeze. Go ahead, reach that foot back, bring the arms up. Go ahead, straighten and open up to the sides of your mat. But we're going to move into warrior two. I need to straighten that front leg after that work. So maybe straighten that front leg. Toes are still pointing forward. Find your breath, reach your arms out. And then let's reach the arms up here. And on your exhale, bend back into that right knee and reach into that warrior two. Inhale, lift, reach hands up, straighten front knee. Exhale, warrior two. Just a couple times back and forth with that. And then from here, bend back into that warrior two. Let's hold it here. Those shoulders are pressing down, the shoulder blades are pulling in, and those fingertips are reaching long, spreading your wings, external rotation into that front right leg. And on your exhale, windmill those arms around. Pop that back left heel up, hands go down, and we're going to take that back foot and step it on up, standing forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it in. Take the right foot and step it back. So once again, staying low, taking your time, setting up left foot, right foot, hip width, left knee stacked on top of that left ankle, right foot, right heel lifted. Legs pressing downward, finding strength in those legs, and slowly bringing that torso on up. Finding your hand position, the hips are pointing forward, maybe the arms reach up. Notice how you're reaching the hands up. Can you broaden out through the shoulders and then straighten the arms? And then just notice if the elbows are, the shoulders are shrugged up, pull them down and reach up. And you can do, if your arms, you can do that same thing here if you're working with some shoulder issues. And then from here, let's take that right knee and drop it down and lift it up. Down and up. Controlled, stable lower body. Lift through the upper body. A few pulses in that back knee if you want. I'm breathing into that front right hip flexor now. A little hold of that knee, back knee, legs strong. And then from here, feels so good to straighten that back leg, lean forward. We're gonna keep the arms doing their thing, reaching them down, pulling elbows back, tapping back foot up. And then stepping it back. Tapping up and stepping back. So when we tap up, that weight shifts into that front leg. Front leg's super strong. And if we want, we can start to pull that knee up and step it back. So make this your practice. Work with what you have going on with your body today. Every day is different. And then if you want that last one, we're going to hold it. Those abs are engaged. You're squeezing here. And then go ahead, step it back. Woo. Reach those hands up. Straighten that front leg. Open up to the long side of your mat. Left toes are still pointing forward. Arms reach up to the sky. And exhale, let's take it back to that warrior two, bending into that front left knee. Straightening and reaching, and warrior twoing, back and forth. And let's hold that warrior two. Just enjoy that strong lower body, left knee stacked, its external rotation on that front left leg. Your wingspan is reaching long, shoulders down, scapulas pulled into that back. From here, let's straighten and reach up again once more and turn that left toe in so that now we are squared off to the sides of the mat. I am going to turn. just to face you so I can see you. So stay here a moment, reach those arms, 5-pointed star, maybe splay the toes a little bit here. And on your exhale, go ahead and bend into those knees. Hands come down. I'm gonna adjust my feet, toes a little forward here, and I'm gonna shift side to side here. So maybe the toes come in a little bit or the feet come in a little tighter so that when you shift, you can really feel the weight shift into one side and then into the other. Weight shifting and back and forth. Now, a lot of times when we do this lateral work, I have you guys check yourself by shifting and lifting the opposite leg, so you can play with that. But how about we really feel that shift? I'm shifting to the right leg, and from here, pushing out of that and coming back. Pushing and coming back. So you're pushing from the leg that you're pressing the weight in, doing that a couple times here. And then go for the other side. So now I'm shifting weight into the left side and pressing out of it. Pressing out of it. Strong legs, back and forth a couple times. A little faster. And how about we add a twist to that? So as I twist, I shift into the right leg, left arm reaches down. If you want, you can place your right hand at the waist or up, and an opposite side. So maybe you touch the floor, maybe you don't. Maybe you're touching the opposite leg with your thigh. There's so many ways to do this. That twist, the spine's long, you're pulling the heart out as you go. And then come back to center. Take a moment. Let's go through some cat-cows here, rounding, tucking the chin, inhaling, arching, rounding and arching. And then go ahead, round that spine, press into the feet. Let's come all the way up to standing. Find that breath, heel toe the feet, maybe a little wider. And we're gonna take that standing forward fold here. So if you're comfortable just with your hands out in front of you, that's what you do, that's fine. If you wanna do the shoulder opener with me, lifting the shoulders, squeezing the scaps, interlacing the hands or grabbing the wrists, press those shoulders down, soft knees, hinge forward, take that forward fold, and those shoulders, they just open to their degree. Arms, those interlaced hands reaching, letting gravity sort of pull on that, letting that spine be free, letting the head be heavy. Inhale, come on up part way. Release the hands back to the tops of the thighs. Exhale your breath out. And then from here, straighten your arms. I'm gonna just pull the toes in slightly and take some of those shoulder rolls. So right shoulder in and down, left shoulder peels up. You're pressing into your legs to help to create that spinal length here, and back and forth a couple times. Come back to center. Let's round it on up. And this time, left toes point to the back of your mat or point wherever your left toes are. And then angle that back right foot in. Open the arms up into a T so that torso facing long side of the mat. And we're just gonna move those hips forward and back. You can do this with your hands at those hips. Sort of, I like that because it's definitely a guide here. I'm using my hands for a little additional push and pull, or push and lift of those hips. And then back to center and the hips forward and back, short side of the mat. And then back to center, and now a twisting. So the right hip comes forward, the hips remain on the same plane. It's just the right hip coming forward, left hip coming back, and opening it back up. Now you can add arms if you want, and you can add more of a twist with both arms if you want. Let's open that back up. Use those hips front to back movement. Hips pop back, torso tubular core engaged as that left hand comes down and right hand comes up. So it's triangle. And feel here, feel the legs strong, plugging in, pulling that energy up the legs. Feel the spine long, feel your wingspan long. Maybe look down at your big left toe. Bring the hand to the right hand down to your right waist. Keep that hip up and shift into that left leg and tap that right foot up a bit. So I'm taking my left hand, just placing it on top of my left thigh as I tap up. And then if you want, you can start to really shift the weight, lift up that back leg. And then if you want, you can kind of reach that left hand down. So it's sort of moving into a half moon. It is moving into half moon if you want. And eventually maybe you land, hold a half moon or a version. We're not staying long. Find length here. Go ahead, step that back foot back, straighten that front leg, and let's turn it around. Right foot forward, back left foot angled in, hands at the waist, those hips move forward and back. Hips are warmed up now, right? Can feel that movement. Come back, hips forward and back, short side of the mat. And then hips level, and that left hip pulls forward, and the right hip pulls back. Adding arms, adding both arms perhaps. Open it up. Hop the hips to the back. Torso is tubular cord, right? Wrapped. Right hand down, left hand up. Feet plugged in. A little micro bend in those knees. Finding your breath. Left hand, I'm going to bring it back down to the left waist. Keeping those hips open, gaze goes down to that right big toe, right hand on top of right thigh. Shift the weight, bend into that front knee, shift the weight forward, tap left foot up and back. Playing with that movement, playing with the shift of the weight, playing if you want with the lift of the leg instead of the tap. And then maybe playing with a bit of a hold. However that hold may look, maybe the hold for you is keeping that foot down, shifting the weight forward, finding that lean. Maybe the hand comes down. This side's definitely a lot different for me. Take a moment, find length. Go ahead, let's bring it back, left foot down. Ooh, shift the torso up, straighten the legs. Let's heel toe those feet together. And I think we're gonna come down. Yeah, we're gonna come down. So we're gonna come through a squat. Heel toe those feet, your squat position. Maybe your squat is forearms here on top of your thighs. I do like to hang out for a little while here just to get those legs strong, get to the feeling of starting to move into that squat, sinking those hips slowly. Eventually, maybe those elbows slide inside of the knees, palms together. I need this squat today. I can feel this. It feels so good. I hope it feels good for you. And that's the idea, is find where it feels good for you, because we're all different here. Some people have the heels lifted, maybe you're up here. Just find that place and breathe into whatever it is that you're doing. Breathe in some gratitude for these amazing bodies that carry us through our days, through our lives, teaching us so many lessons along the way. And then when you're ready, go ahead and take that seat. Come down to your bum. Settle yourself on the middle of your mat. And we're going to take that left foot down, left knee up. Keep that down, knee bent, left knee bent, and that right ankle, feed it underneath that left ankle. Find where your sit bones are, where your hips are. So I'm going to adjust here so that I'm not posteriorly tilted, that pelvis sort of dumping to the back, but rather rolling forward till the pelvis is more stable, more upright. If you can imagine it holding a bowl of soup, the soup isn't sloshing forward or back. So kind of find that place, and where that foot lands here is going to be dependent on your hips. Pull that belly in, wrap that right arm around that bent left leg, and take that left hand behind. Left knee is pointing up. You're pressing into your sit bones. You're lifting your heart. You're pressing your shoulders down. How about some shoulder or neck rotation? As you look back, turn chin level and look forward. And then look back and look forward a couple times. Go ahead, look back, hold it. Breathe into it. Take note of how the breath feels here in this twist. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, untwist it to the front, and we're going to keep twisting it. Right hand behind, left arm on the inside of that left bent knee, and twisting it to the opposite side. And take note of your breath here, breathing into this more open body twist. Awesome. Inhale, long spine, unwind to the front. Let's take both of the soles of the feet, bring them together, open the knees up. Once again, I'm going to slide the feet forward a bit. And I'm doing that so I have more movement in my pelvis. I can tell whether it's rounding or I'm dumping it forward, but I'm going to sit tall here, grab the ankles, and long spine, take a forward fold here. And maybe it's not that much of a folding, that's okay. You can leveraging the hands and the ankles, pulling those arms forward, feeling your length here in the spine, reaching your heart towards your feet, shoulders level. And then if you want, and if it feels good for your spine, for your back, taking more rounding here, dropping the shoulders down, dropping the chin down. Letting go maybe a little more into this. And by letting go, I mean just softening the muscles. Pull that belly in. Support that torso to roll it up. Take that right knee, point it up, sole the right foot down, left ankle through underneath that right knee. And sit bones, pelvis positioning. That dictates where you're going to put that foot here. And then take that left arm, wrap it. Keep the lift of the heart, right hand behind, bracing, fingertips bracing behind you. And neck rotation, if you want, back and forth, forward and back. Just that swiveling of the head. Let's hold it, looking off that back shoulder. And then focusing, placing your attention on your breathing here. Really finding your breath and pushing into all the edges that this twist creates. Keep that lift of the spine, keep the lift at the top of the head. Untwist it back to center and retwist it other side. Left hand behind, right arm on inside of that right knee. I'm using the resistance of the arm into the leg here. And then I just love the breathing on this more open body twist. So enjoy the breath, more expansion. And then go ahead and untwist it back to the front. Pull that left leg out, center yourself on your mat, grab behind your thighs and take your time and roll it down. If you want, you can really use your abs here to vertebrae by vertebrae. Come on down to the mat. Take your time. Strong abs. Bend your knees. And for just a couple extra rounds of your breath, just let go. Half Shavasana. Soft face, release tension in the face. And then feel those legs, feel those feet. Press down into the feet. Make those legs strong. Keep pressing down so much into the feet that the hips lift. And then exhale, lower those hips back down. Legs strong, feet pressing down, inhale, hips lift. If you want, add arms reaching up and over as the hips lift. And exhale, hips go down, arms sweep back up and down. So hip risers, inhaling, lifting and reaching. Exhaling, lowering, arms sweeping back down. Back and forth a couple of times here. And then we're going to just keep those hips lifted, arms reaching overhead. So slightly different. You can stay here with those arms reaching, those hips lifted, and kind of just feel that for a moment. Or if you want to do that traditional bridge, you can do that as well. But I'm going to stay just with the arms reaching overhead, really feeling the legs here. Feeling the breath in the front body here. And then exhale, lower it all back down. Go ahead, pull those knees in. Take the knees wider than your torso. And give your hips a little side to side rock. Come back to center. Let's press our feet up to the sky. Point and flex the feet or the ankles, right? Reach those toes up and pull them down. Roll the ankles here. Roll them the opposite direction. Take a moment to open and close the toes. And then shake your toes, shake your ankles, shake your knees. Shake them in unison, shake them opposite. Just kind of move them around, shake that energy around. Shake them so much that the hips shake, that the torso shakes, that you feel your head bobbing up and down a little bit. Just kind of shake all that energy, reach your arms up to the sky, shake those as well. Like you're, like a dog, like when a dog tries to shake everything and dry themselves off, shake yourself, and then go ahead and release that. Just soften it. Let everything come down back to the earth slowly. Feel all that energy in the body moving around as your limbs come back down to earth. Keep your knees bent as those feet land. Land the feet wide. Open your arms and just drop those knees side to side a couple of times, windshield wipering the knees back and forth. Windshield wipering the legs, moving the hips back and forth a couple times. And then when you're ready, knees come back up and the feet slide down to the corners of your mat. Arms adjust to where they're comfortable for your Shavasana. Maybe the arms are directed by how you pull your shoulder blades in and flatten them onto the earth. And take a big breath in here. Fill up everything. And use an open mouth exhale to just sigh it all out. Let your breath still be deep and full, but let it slowly come back to a more shallow pattern. Savoring every breath as you go. Savoring that pull of the breath in and savoring that exhale of the breath and the power of that exhale to soften and let go of tension, of tightness, of holding throughout the body. Notice that the earth rises up to meet and to hold your body. Let that breath pattern just come to its own natural breathing pattern. And just stay with noticing your inhale, being aware of your exhale. Stay and be with that breath in and out for a few more rounds. Very gently start to make your breath a little longer, a little deeper. Imagining that breath coming in, being very thirsty for that breath, taking bigger gulps of that breath, but it's through the nose here. Letting that breath invigorate your body, making some movement in the hands and the feet, in the ankles and the wrists. Drinking in that breath so full, reaching the arms overhead. And making your way to your side body. Continuously drinking that breath in as you go. Big, thirsty gulps of breath. Just hydrating your body with your breath here. When you're ready, sitting up. Finding a comfortable seat. And big, big gulps of breath. Lots of hydration here as you sit tall. Finding your sit bones, finding your spine long, finding your heart open, grounded, lengthened, open. And one more time, big inhale in. Longer exhale out. And big breath in. And long releasing, maybe open mouth exhale. Releasing it all out. Thank you so much, you guys, for practicing with me today. May you have an awesome week. Namaste.